Hello everybody, welcome to my channel at Chosen Weeds Farm. I hope everybody is doing well. Today I decided to do a video on five survival foods that you can plant right in your backyard. You don't need a whole lot of space, but these plants are perennials. That means that they are going to come back every single year, and it's not going to require a lot of work from you. Fantastic, right? That's the way I love to do things around here. I want to plant as many things as I can so that it doesn't require a lot of input from me, and it produces year after year. And every year I seem to be able to find more and more things that grow here. I'm in if you're watching from outside my area, I'm in zone 9, southeast Texas, so we have a lot of growing time. It's basically subtropical, so there's going to be some things that grow well here that won't grow in your area, say if you're in the Northeast or in the Midwest. But there's some things in your area that don't grow well here. So I've tried to choose things that will grow just about anywhere. And I had a hard time deciding what to talk to you guys about this morning because I have most of my stuff is perennial, comes back year after year. So I've chosen, the 5 things I've chosen are Hosta, Daylily, fig, sweet potato, and strawberry. So let's get started. All right. The first one, as I walk out here, is going to be daylily. Now, right now, I don't have a lot of daylily plants, some from my mom this year, so I've planted them. They're not flowering right now. They'll flower next year. A lot of people don't realize that you can eat the flower of the daylily, the stalk, and even there's tubers down under the ground, and you can eat those as well. The cool thing about daylily, not only are they edible, but they make a great border. They're going to attract butterflies and bees. The flowers are pretty, and you can just put them just about anywhere to really beautify your garden space. So what I'm going to do once these start to spread a little bit is I'll split them, and I'll put them in other places along edges and things like that. So the next one we're going to talk about is fig, and different figs grow well in different areas, and there's lots of different varieties of figs. So just kind of do your research on the figs that you want, turkey figs, LSU figs, all kinds of stuff. This is one of my fig trees. It's done producing for right now, even though there are some green figs on here. This is September. Those might ripen. They're probably not going to. The really cool thing about the figs is the leaves actually are edible too. Did you know that? Yes. I would recommend you can toast them like kale. You know, you make kale chips. You can toast them like that, but use the young tender leaves, not the older ones. So the leaves are edible, you get the fruit, and they're super easy to propagate. I mean, you could have a bunch of these on your property within a few months. All you need to do is take a clipping, a branch clipping, stick it in some, you can use some rooting hormone, stick it into a pot, and just make sure that pot stays moist, the soil stays moist, and it will start to grow a new fig. Super, one of the easiest things to propagate. All right, so that's fig, and honestly, I don't remember what variety this is. That's like one of my bad things that I need to work on, is remembering the varieties of the plants that I plant. So sorry about that. All right, sorry about the dog barking. The next thing to look at is sweet potato. Now, I planted about 5 slips of sweet potato 3 or 4 years ago, and actually I didn't even plant anything over here, which is amazing. This probably was, there was probably sweet potato in my compost, and I put some compost over here, didn't realize it was here, and turned into a sweet potato patch. So here's the cool thing about sweet potato. In the spring, and in the winter, after I take out dig up all the sweet potato, this will have like broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage, that sort of thing. And then in the spring, I might do some zucchini or something right here. And then as the zucchini dies off, the sweet potato comes, it becomes a ground cover. Sweet potato takes a very long time to grow. It's the full season, so from spring to your first frost. And sweet potato leaves are edible, so you're going to have greens all through the season. And then in the fall, you're going to have your sweet potato. You dig up all your sweet potatoes. You store them for the winter, and so your sweet potatoes are going to last all winter long for you. And then in the spring, any of the sweet potato that you might have missed, even a small cutting or even a little tiny sweet potato, it'll come back up the next year, which is really, really cool. So I haven't had to replant my sweet potato in 3 or 4 years. They just come back. I can use the leaves. It's a superb ground cover, which means even though I do have some weeds in here, I'm not too worried. They're not taking over. The sweet potato takes over. And it keeps the ground cool. It provides habitat for toads and insects, and then they can use the vines as mulch after I pull them up. So very cool, right? All right, guys, let's travel to my other area back here, and hopefully the dog is going to stay quiet. Oop, about fell. All right, the next thing is strawberries, and this is actually my very first strawberry patch. It's an old boat. Ha! I know, funny. Reuse everything. And some of my strawberries I did lose some strawberry plants over the summer because it was so hot. But so I'll just get some more and add them in. And then over here, this whole bed, once the okra dies, there's my okra. I already have some strawberries. These strawberries that I've planted here are adapted to the Gulf Coast area, so they're going to do really, really well. And I actually did lose some over the summer too, but I'm going to get some more. In this whole patch, you can't see where it ends because of the okra. This whole patch will be strawberries, and those will come back. Have strawberries in the spring. They'll go through the summer, and then they'll be here. They'll keep reproducing every spring, and they'll keep expanding. They'll send out runners, and those runners will actually root, and then where it roots, they'll flower some more, and then it'll just keep on going. So I just started that strawberry patch last year, and so I'm going to be cultivating that and making that better. The last thing we're going to talk about is Hosta. Take you over here to the Hosta. Now my Hosta don't look great. Sorry, I needed to weed around, but a lot of people don't realize that Hosta is edible. The leaves, the flowers, the flower stalks, those are all edible. The cool thing about Hosta is that it's a shade-loving plant, and a lot of times we have a hard time finding things that are going to grow well in the shade. Hosta is one of those. So if you have a shady spot and you want to plant something edible, plant some Hosta. They get big and full, and it's going to act as they don't get very tall, so it's more of an understory plant. Excuse me. And and as it expands, gets bigger, the root ball gets bigger, you can actually split that as well, just like you do with a daylily, and then move it to another area. So you're going to get free plants all of the time. So that's the cool thing about Hosta. And they send up a stalk with little white flowers on it. You can eat all of that. You could treat the stalk like an asparagus, roast it like an asparagus, use the leaves like like spinach, all those sorts of things. So all of that is edible, which is very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was informative. If you want to have more of these videos, please make sure you hit subscribe so that you get updated on them, and also make sure that you join my email list at www.thechosenweeds.com, and then you will be sent these videos right away whenever I do them. There goes out weekly emails every week with tips about homesteading, farming, classes that I have, all sorts of things that you guys can get updated about. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.